Okay. Yeah, so the next thing we're going to do is another little activity. So I'm going to pass these around, and I want each one of you to take one of these pieces of paper. And then we're also going to need some pens. Do you have any more colored pens? So you can pass these around too.
Purple.
Who does not have a pen? I don't know who does. You guys Good.
Here you go.
Oh
my. Here you go.
Okay, let's remember the rules.
Okay, does everybody have one?
The red meat. Oh.
Okay, so this can says the real me, and you can see it's like a little picture where it looks like the label is being torn off a little bit. So what I want you guys to do is on the top part where it's like gray, I'm giving you guys complete permission to brag about yourselves. So what you get to do is, so the first thing that I want you to write is what you like about yourself. And if it's hard to think about something that you like about yourself, pretend that you have a chance to win $1 million if you tell people what you like about yourself. So that's the first thing that I want you to write. So does everybody want to write that first?
You write it like up here?
Yeah, just on the can. So Daniel, do you want to give an example of something you like about yourself?
Example that I like about myself. Oh man, I need like a few seconds. I'm a hard worker, and I like that about myself. Whatever I put my mind to, I will work hard to try to achieve it, and maybe not achieve it, but it's the work that I put in that counts.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So that's an example, and then I guess I could say,
Right? I know when you think about it, you're like,
let's see. I am really good at coming in for a friend. Like if somebody needs something at the last minute and there's nobody else to do it, I'll easily step up and do it. So that's something that I like about myself. So did you guys all write something?
I'm very humble. Oh, we're supposed to start?
We'll give you a few more seconds to write down these things on the canvas.
Yeah. I mean, you can write more than one if you want, but there's other things that we're going to write too. So the first is something you like about yourself.
Does anyone need more time? It's okay if you do. Okay.
Why would you give me pens?
That's true. I don't know, Daniel. I'm not sure that was a good idea. Okay. All right. Let's cease the clicking.
That's Kylie's job. She is a secretary, and her job is to click pens.
Oh no!
What?
You're fired from your job. You can't.
Yes, at the end of our skit.
Thomas already fired her.
Yeah, he
so
fired. Not just me, you too.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Let's move along now to the next one. Okay. So the next thing is going to be something that other people like about you.
What do you guys like about me?
I heard you're awesome.
Nothing.
Let's see. Should we give another example for this one?
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
we
put
can
on
go
beautiful and awesome.
I already got it.
We have like people tell us because I have no idea.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Sure.
know.
Yeah.
I already know.
Do you want to? You know what? That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good
How about
idea.
you guys sit down for a second and
Nobody has to say it for me. I already know.
let's see. How should we do this?
Amazing.
You know what I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so we can just go in a circle, and we'll start with the first one, and you guys can everybody say something that you like about that person, okay? Okay, so is it Hannah, right? Okay. So what's something that everybody likes about Hannah?
Okay, we'll start with you.
Oh.
Should we just kind of like shout them out, or
we
like
can
go in?
shout out.
Am I
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
She's super outgoing and athletic.
outgoing and athletic? There you go.
Fast.
Does anybody else have ones they want to add?
She's a great
Sonic the
therapist.
Hedgehog.
Great
That's
therapist,
good.
You're really
Wow.
funny.
Good
funny,
advice.
Good
fast.
advice.
Has good fashion because she wears 2 different socks and 2 different shoes.
Yes.
Yeah, creative, that's
Good
nice.
The
fashion.
kind of crazy that I need in life.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't care what anybody thinks of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a
There
good
you
one.
go. Does that help?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can write down those things, and then Sydney,
Oh no.
what do you guys think?
Like clarinet.
You're really, you're hilarious.
You're
really funny.
You're really pretty and you're funny and let me think. You know your fashion, girl.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
There you
You
go.
remember the talent show?
No.
Well, see, someone likes your fashion sense, so that's a positive trait that they see in you that you may not see in yourself. That's good too. Those are good traits.
You're good at sports. You're really good. Like when you went this morning, you like ran in soccer balls. I was really impressed. I can't do that, so.
That's good. Does that help?
A decade of softball. I
Woohoo!
can't believe that.
Is that good? All right, let's keep going so that everybody has time to say something. Okay.
Hannah.
The other Hannah, right? Okay. Can't see your
Hair.
name tag either.
And let me think.
Wait, I didn't get to
Okay.
say for you.
You're okay.
You're short.
You know your advice.
wow.
You got
Just pay attention.
advice for me whenever I need it.
Oh yeah, you're really sweet.
And yeah, you're really sweet and pretty.
Sweet, pretty, great hair, kind.
Sassy. You're
Yes,
sassy.
Sassy at some time.
You're sassy, especially to speak.
Yeah, it is. It's
You're
hilarious.
short.
So maybe
Taller
maybe
than
another word for sassy. Maybe she
Yeah,
stands her
she's taller
ground.
than you.
Mhm.
She stands her ground. She knows what she
Knows who she is.
She knows what she wants to do.
Yep. That's good. Okay, and then Reed is next.
Are we really You're really funny, Reed. You're really
Yeah.
good at
Yes,
sports.
but Reed is
We're
next.
doing Reed
He
now.
can draw, he can do
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can
Good.
draw.
He's
You're
really
funny.
Wow.
funny.
You're really funny.
Craftsman.
You're really funny. Remember on the boat?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Funny.
I'm gonna write down.
Those are some ideas that you can write down.
There's some
Let's
good.
go
Okay.
over here.
Oh, Aiden, just so that you know what we're doing, basically this can is for things that we like about ourselves. So now we're going around the room and people are talking about things that they like about us. So what are some things for Aiden that are good?
Aiden, you
got
are
it.
really creative.
That's what I was about to say.
Really
Yeah,
creative.
He comes up with a lot of
Yeah.
good stuff.
Funny,
Wow.
and
You're
you
so funny.
and when you
Yeah.
start a conversation, you know you know a lot of facts, and you can say a lot of facts a lot.
Just smart.
Yeah, you're really smart.
Yeah, you're really giving too.
Yeah, you are.
Really giving. Generous.
Yeah.
Oh no. We have another pen for
Uh-oh.
Reed.
No,
That's
I
what he did.
down for.
Oh, you can put it back together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really, Reed?
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, those are good. Okay. Well, what's your name again? Adam. Okay, yes. What about Adam? Awesome.
Who is it?
Oh,
Who
and
is it?
remind me
I didn't know we were
Yeah,
starting.
don't
Okay.
forget Autumn is next. Yes.
Sorry. I didn't know we were starting.
You have really good hair.
You
It's
have a good
awesome.
voice.
Yes.
Good boys.
You have
Good
a really
hair.
good voice.
Very sweet.
Yeah.
You're a good brother.
Oh my
Let's give
goodness,
it to
that's all you can think
Let's give it to Adam.
That's all
What
you
else
can
can
That's
you do for
all.
Autumn?
Everybody chooses my brother over me. It's sad.
I never said I choose it over you.
Let's keep it
So
focused on
to be fair,
Autumn.
she has
What
two
are some other
brothers.
things
You
that
like
Autumn
teen
has? Positive.
Yes, girl.
Oh yeah, you really like musicals.
Really musical.
You're someone I could talk to. Yeah.
Okay.
Great to
So
talk
what you
to.
want
Good
is
friend.
really outgoing.
Especially since
Okay, I got this.
You
You got it?
Okay.
All right, and then Leah, is that what you want to be called?
Leah. I like
Okay.
Really?
You're a good singer.
Yeah.
Good
You're,
singer.
yeah,
she
she
is.
are.
And a great clarinet player.
And a good guitar
Great
player
at
and a good whatever ever
Good
said
player.
instrument
I remember
player.
you
Musically-
played
musically talented.
Yeah.
What are some other things?
She's really pretty.
Yeah, you're a.
I accidentally poked a hole in my paper.
Okay.
Read.
Do you have some ideas to write down, Autumn? Not Autumn.
Yeah,
sorry.
I have some.
Leah. I'm really bad with names, guys.
I know.
Sorry. I see Fisher, yeah, but someone else called you something else.
No, I want to be called Fisher.
Okay,
It's
well,
Didn't
we'll-
you want to be
we'll
called
call
Michael
you-
or
That's
something?
my middle
Let's
name.
put our attention this way.
Okay,
Kiwi-
Kylie.
Kiwi's
Kiwi,
next.
sorry.
Your hair.
Wow.
You're amazing. Like you are so funny and outgoing, and you're really good at.
Your hair's
projects.
poofy.
Your hair is poofy.
You're fast. You are fast.
You are fast.
You don't care what people say.
You don't.
You have the best run. Her run is like. It's so amazing.
I like to run like that because it looks like I'm derping.
That's
good. Those are good. All right, what do you think? Does that help you? Okay, so does everybody have things that they can write about? Okay. So then the next one that we're going to write is one thing that you have accomplished in the past. So it can be as simple as getting into 7th grade.
I
you
ate a
know?
carton of ice cream.
Eating a carton of ice cream, that's an accomplishment. Anything that you guys feel proud of that you were able to do, running 33 miles, you can write down, because that's great, and we should like acknowledge the things that make us feel proud of ourselves.
Wait, where
Just anywhere on the can. It all goes on the can.
Did you write it down?
No.
Okay, so,
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something.
okay.
Or at least finishing it.
Okay, and then as soon as you're done with that, there's just one more that we're going to write, and it's something that you guys would label yourself as that's positive.
Oh, why'd you have a negative?
Because it has to be positive.
Yeah, can we do negative? That's easier.
No.
Positive.
Because it's positive. Because the reason that negative is easier is because we're set to kind of think more negatively about ourselves. But if we're able to start seeing things positively, that helps us accomplish more goals, have bigger dreams. Yeah.
Is crazy positive?
The way you
Depends
look
on
at
how
it.
you look at it.
Yeah. I mean,
You're
you're
trying to think of
crazy
a
is
goal.
positive.
Do you guys all have something you
Maybe
can
another
write down
word for
about
crazy,
yourself?
You can say
Yeah.
ambitious. That's
You don't wanna
that's
write
another word
anything?
for a positive way of saying crazy. Ambitious is a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm thinking maybe outgoing, because she said outgoing, but
Okay.
I said go.
oh, you did? I heard outgoing from
Yeah.
that side of the room, so
That's good. If you would label yourself outgoing, that's a good one. Yeah.
Lightweight.
Oh
And
my
like that.
goodness.
Are you like
Yeah.
lifting weights or like?
No, lightweight. I'm only like 85
yeah,
pounds.
he's only like 80 pounds.
If that's a label that you see as a positive thing for yourself, then you can write that. Okay, does anyone need more time? No? Okay. So after that activity, and you guys can kind of reflect on the words that you wrote down, I just want to talk a little bit about it. So we all kind of talked about how we have been given labels in the past. I think everybody, going through school, people will call us things, and we all get kind of painted as labels. And once you get labeled as something, sometimes it can be hard to shake out of it. But I want to talk a little bit about how you've been affected in the past by your label. And Sydney already shared a little bit with us, and that was really open, and we really appreciated that, because that's what we want to get at. We want us all to be able to get along and talk about that kind of thing, because it's really important to share it, and it helps encourage other people too. So what's a way that we feel labels have affected us in the past? Does anybody want to share? Yeah.
Well, it wasn't about like the slow thing. I was uncoordinated until I was in 5th grade. Like, I couldn't like walk in a straight line until I was in 5th grade. That's at least what my mom used to tell me. And I guess when I got into this school, or when I guess I just like, I don't know, I just learned better, or I just worked at it more, and I got better at it.
Yeah. So that's something that you were able to practice and kind of apply because you wanted to change it, and you can walk in a straight line now.
Yeah, but it also affected different things,
Yeah.
like my drawing. Like, that used to be everything to me. Like, I used to draw almost every night, but I mean, like, I couldn't. I look at my drawings, and I'm just like, what is that?
Yeah. So it is like sometimes things that we are can affect things. So, oh yeah, go ahead and share, Kylie. No, go ahead.
You wanted to move on.
No, you can share.
I use the labels that people tell me to improve myself, unless they're good things. Then
Okay. That's actually a really good perspective, because sometimes if we hear something about ourselves that can sound kind of negative and it can be hurtful, sometimes it can, it's, what is the word for that? It's kind of like taking criticism positively sometimes, and it can help us to know areas that we need to grow in, and help us to improve in the future. Sometimes that can be a really healthy way of looking at it. Sydney?
I sort of got
I started getting bullied in second grade, and it was by my friend, and it kept on spreading to more people and more people. And in third grade, I made the decision on homeschooling. So in fourth grade, I homeschooled, and when I came back to the same school in fifth grade, it had gotten worse. But I took their words and had a closer friend, and so he was getting bullied too, and so we moved here together.
Wow.
Thomas. Yeah, Thomas. Sorry. And so now we're both happier.
That's great. That's great. And it's really great to have a friend that you can go through that kind of thing with.
Yeah, he's in the other room.
Yeah. It sounds like you guys are all like really great friends, and that's really important. Okay, so the next thing that I just want to ask you guys to think about is how your future could be affected if you see yourself continuing with labels that you're given. And sometimes you can think about how, you know, if you feel like you're labeled something right now that you'd like to change, even if it's not necessarily negative, but just something that you don't really like, what could you do for yourself to kind of change it so that you can go somewhere else in the future? So like a little example of this is when I first started college, I was a business major because everybody told me that I was really organized and really to the point, and I had lists for everything, and they said I was really clerical, but that's like a secretary kind of thing. But I didn't really like it. But that's what I started doing when I got into college, but I really wanted to work with people. So over time, I ended up changing what I was doing, and now I'm in a field where I work with people. And that was a really good experience for me, and sometimes like that just showed me like how I can, you know, just kind of not necessarily listen to what everybody says about you, because if what they're saying about you isn't necessarily pushing you towards what you want to do, then that's up to you, you know, to change that because you want to pursue your dreams and not everyone else's. Yeah, go ahead, Adam.
Okay, well, so even since when I was like 7 years old until now, or even when I was 10 years old until now, I've changed a lot. And like to think how much I'll change from like now until then is a lot. So like our labels will change drastically.
That's true.
So I mean, like, people keep labels on you even though that you've changed a lot.
Yeah, but a big part of why your labels change as you get older too is because your behaviors are even changing, even if you don't necessarily see it, because people will label you based off of what you see. And as you get older, you know, you start to see things differently and do things differently, and you'll see yourself start getting labeled in different ways. And what we want to talk about here too is how even if you're being labeled in a certain way, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the way you need to go with your life. You know, does that make sense? Yeah.
It's not set in stone. Those negative labels aren't set in stone. It's okay to ask somebody, or like a trusted friend or a parent or someone that you trust, to maybe give you positive critiques, maybe not about yourself, but maybe some actions that you can improve on. And being willing to want to change is where it starts too. Because if we're afraid to change, then we're not going to be receptive to wanting to change our behavior. So being okay with where we are and wanting to change, it can help us as well, like reinforce the positive labels that we have by ourselves.
That's true. No, that was really good. Thank you. Go ahead.
In third and fourth grade, and seventh grade, I was labeled weird, and I was kind of weird, and but now I'm still weird, but I'm a different kind of weird, like a kind of more
Good weird.
Yeah. You've
Funny
always been a
weird.
good weird.
Yeah.
Hi. Okay. We're about done. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I started drifting away from my close friend, and once the bullying started happening, I never sort of went back to him, and I started getting depressed. And then once we finally met up, I knew that he was my actual friend, and we started hanging out with my families.
Yeah. It's amazing sometimes the experiences that can happen to us that will show us who the true friends are in our lives. And that's really special. Thank you guys for everything that you've shared today. Like, we're about done. Yeah, we need to wrap it up pretty soon because you guys have to get back to, what do you have after this? Study hall, yeah. But,
You guys are all students. You got that.
yeah, I really am glad that we've been able to share so much today. And this is kind of like where we want to go in the future too, because we want us all to be really open so that we can kind of hear what everyone else is going through as well. And, you know, we're not alone in being labeled. Everybody gets labeled. But we can all kind of overcome that together. So does anybody else have anything that they want to say before we wrap it up?
I'm just really glad that I came here.
We're really glad that you came here too.
Tiffany, do we have enough time?
I don't know what time it is.
I guess we could do for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
do another
Tiffany
activity.
is going to go ahead and do the little ending activities with you guys. I don't know what she has planned, so.
It's a school. I don't like the ending part, but I like activities.
That's good. Thank you guys. I'm glad to hear that you guys enjoy being here. It's always nice when you actually are in the group that you want to be in. So
Yeah.
good to hear. I can start mine if you want, and I can send it to you.
Wait, so you should put